Oh yes, Mama Liberia, rise. Arise, Mama Liberia. Let's say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the show. This is the Max K Talk Show. Today is Thursday. Today is Thursday. Well, what's the day today? The 13th of November. Sorry, the 13th of September. I thought I won't go like real quick. I just pushed the year to go. Let's see. What's happening here? We can get our studio guest. I'm getting the signal that she's watching us live, but then we can see her on the dashboard. Okay, Mamensie, if you can place the call, please, because we can't see you on our dashboard to tell us that you are indeed watching live. Yeah, sometimes it's so very difficult to connect with your guests. Yeah, we can't see you at all on the dashboard that you're watching like other people. Okay, let me recognize a few other people that are right here now online with us. Okay, all right. I think our studio guest is in now. We're just seeing her. Wonderful. Let me place the call now. That's all good. Let's keep our fingers crossed for the internet. So our Facebook is telling us now it's adding. So let's just hope that we will get her live. All right, our would-be studio guest, Assistant Minister of Administration of the Ministry of Gender and Child Protection. Her name is Mamensie Kabba. Our would-be guest, because the video stay telling me that it's adding, so by the time we see they're connecting, then we know she's coming on. So, Mom, if you can just take action from your end, because we've been told already it's been adding. So long you take action, then they will tell me, oh, it said declined, or what happening? It says declined. Nice here. Approved. By the time I see they're connecting, right now it's adding. The moment I see they're connecting, and some kind of action has been taken on the other end. Bam. You see here, finger crossed. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So just keeping our eyes on the camera. So the internet is telling us to stay adding, so let's hope we get the minister live here. Oh, it's dropped again. Let's try again. Minister, you need to try again and try again. Sure. Okay, please bear with us. What's going to be with you? The Max K Talk Show. They're trying to get our. I guess we just lost our again from the dashboard. In the name of Jesus. Alright, the time is oh, the network business. Yeah, sometimes it can break out my nerve. Everyone, this time I'm back home. You'll be you'll be writing it. You will send a text. Appear like you're still writing the text. You finish saying the thing where appear like you're still writing it. I'm a minister again, give for a call. In the meantime, let's see whether we can find another alternative like before. Actually, the Honorable Minister is not really a stranger to this talk show. She's been here many times. And I was with Radio LIB. And since I took this new opportunity with Boss Media Radio and TV. First time coming on the air here. Let me get back to you quickly and see whether this number still existing. All right, let's see. I think she's making another request. And okay. All right, let's see what we can get. We can do another alternative to this one. we continue with this beautiful song. Let's see again. Go back to our video and see whether we'll be blessed to get the Honorable Minister. Let's hope the internet. This morning I spent almost a long time with some family members back home. It was really good to see each other and respect for it. It's 20 minutes into the hours already of our time here. That means that by this 20 minutes time we'll have at least gone into some great discussion with the Honorable Minister. Finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got her finally.
Right?
Wow.
It hasn't been easy.
I say it's not easy to
it has been giving me a lot of instructions.
I think because I always find it difficult to get through with big people. That's true. Yeah.
But I'm not a big person though.
Because I call somebody, I call my relative waiting for you today. We talk good. It didn't even take long. But by the time I say that the minister come on, we've been fighting 20 minutes now.
Actually, what it has been telling me is that it has been asking me to rotate my phone. I don't want to be holding the phone while I'm talking. So I tried to rotate the phone. It's not working. I have to go back to my setting. And I did the rotation. Right. So finally, I was able to get you. Well, let's apologize to our viewers.
It's great to have you on.
Battery. So I just hold on. Let me get my power bank on.
Okay.
So that it doesn't go off while we are on the line.
Yeah. I think that's quite advisable. Great. It's great to.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Welcome to each and every one of you. Thanks. Let me welcome Bob Zoe. Good morning to you. It's morning to you there. Those of you all joining us from Australia, across the USA, welcome as well. Canada, I see a lot of people from Canada as well. Welcome to the show. It's great. Sorry, I can't. If I begin to start to call names now, I will leave some of you guys behind. But let me say thanks so much to all of you for joining in. And welcome to another edition of the Max Kpakio Talk Show. All right.
Okay, Mas, I'm okay. Let's go ahead.
Good. Honorable Minister, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm doing very well. Am I loud?
Yeah. Preferably, we can see. It's good to see you looking, fit and well and good. Maybe more than ever before. It's great to always see you looking like this. Thank you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It is a pleasing honor to be on your show at this time. Sorry, I'm not going to be shouting because I'm in my office and we have a lot of offices. So I don't want to disturb. It's still working time. So you have to please bear with me and also your listeners as well, your viewers.
All right. Let me, on behalf of the minister, apologize to you, Augustine. Augustine say, Honorable Minister, you must apologize for keeping us so long. Sorry, the minister, I apologize.
Though the problem did not come from me, it was a technical problem.
Yeah.
I've been communicating on the line with that, how you call it, rotating, but today I don't know why you requested that.
Oh, yeah, it's the rotation. Sometimes
probably because the phone is aside, that's why.
All right. Anyway, Mamensie, welcome. It's great to see you, especially, we talked to you way back then. That was then we were getting prepared for bringing a change in our country and things. And, we used to be so much appreciative having you on the show. But the responsibility now have kept you a little bit far from us. But welcome to the show. It's great to have you on, Honorable Minister.
Thank you so much, Max. I'm going to be a bit far from you, but I'm never going to go away. So remember that I'm always with you. We started this for a very long time. We sometimes disagree on issues, which is very normal. In life, people do not have to agree on the same issue. So sometimes we disagree, but we still remain respectful of each other's views. Indeed. So yes, I'm doing wonderful the world. And since my ascendancy, this is my first time having a conversation with you on this basis. So it's a wonderful and a pleasing moment for me. so that our people in the diaspora will be able to hear from their daughter, their friend, their sister, and their mother. So I'm
Hmm.
happy.
Yeah. First of all, let me start off by asking you, how did we get here? How did we got to be assistant minister?
Oh, how did we get here?
Yeah.
How? It the question might sound simple, but it's a kind of difficult thing. I cannot tell how. But again, I enjoyed the confidence of the president. He saw the need to repose his confidence in me. As you may be aware that the president has the constitutional mandate to be able to appoint people, especially in these kinds of positions. So we got here because the president reposed confidence in me. That's why I'm here. And it is
So
a
far,
pleasing honor to be
hmm,
given an opportunity to serve your country. You know, it is not an easy thing. And it is not everyone that can be opportune to have such an opportunity to be able to serve your country. So for
yeah.
me, I see it as not just as an opportunity, but as a challenge to me as a young person. There are a lot of young people out there. I'm not smarter than them. I'm not perfect. I'm not the best among them. There are young people who are as smart as I am. There are some who are
Hmm.
even smarter than me, but they don't have this opportunity. So if it is given me, I see it as a privilege and an opportunity to be able to make a difference, to serve my country with
Yeah.
honesty, passion, and commitment. So I see it as an opportunity.
Did you see it coming?
Um, Not specifically this, but I believe that I knew that I would have occupied a position in this country in terms of being a stakeholder. I've already been a stakeholder because the thing about Emas, you came to Liberia one time and you saw my place. You went to my house. You know
Yeah.
where I live. You saw my
Yeah.
mother. You know
Yeah.
my background. My mother still sells in front of the house. I come from a humble background and such a background, it has some psychological effect because a lot of time, many times, people feel like coming from nowhere means that you should just stay down the line. But I saw it differently. I thought there was a need that I raised my voice to be able to transform my life, the lives of my family members, and people who live in my society. So I did not just hold back that because I come from a slum community, come from a poor background, so I should keep quiet. I started to push forward. And when I started to push forward, I became permanent in the role that I was playing. Even the past president knew my name. She knew me. So stakeholders knew me. I represented young people in this country when I was in opposition. I left Liberia and went out to represent Liberia. I didn't think that I was coming from a slum community. What I thought was that this is an opportunity to change my life, to improve my life, represent my country adequately because when I'm not around tomorrow, my legacy remains.
One thing I must admit is that regardless of whatever, like what you said first at the beginning, whatever the differences are, but it has to be political. So the most important thing is the common interest, which is Liberia,
Yeah.
irrespective of how we all want to see it moving forward. Let's get to your responsibility. I mean, I don't know. Maybe so many people don't even know. Assistant
Yeah.
Minister for Administration. What is your responsibility at the ministry?
Well, basically, it's like a technical role, but then primarily I assist my boss, my immediate boss, the Deputy Minister for Administration. And our work basically has to do with managing finance in the building, like petty finance. We have different divisions that fall under us. The Ministry of Gender also has different departments. So there's a difference between the departments and the divisions. The department are the largest segment, and the divisions fall under the departments. So every department has divisions. Now, the Department of Administration, we are the head of administration, my boss and I. We have under our department, we have the finance department. So we we technically play interact with all of the other departments in the sense that if you look at the Department of Gender, most of their activities have to do with programs. And if they are doing programs, they have to procure a lot of things. So if they are procuring things, that means they have to follow the procurement procedure. Now, procurement falls under administration. And to follow the procurement procedure, you must have a budget. So they have to work with also under the division of finance in planning their budget because finance has people with that technical know-how as it relates to financial issue. So they work with the finance division. And the finance decision comes to us. The division comes to us where we need to sign because I usually verify and my boss signs and then the minister proper approves. So if gender is having a program where they need card, they don't just go and get the card, they have to go and procure the card to ensure that they follow the procedure of the PPCC Act. This is all about accountability. So it comes to me and I have to look at whether procedure will properly follow. If I don't understand the procedure, then I will have to call somebody from that division to come and explain to me. So what we do here is we ensure that documents are properly verified, the procedure of Public Procurement Act is followed, the Public Financial Management Act is also followed, and human resource. The human resources division is responsible for recruitment,
Recruitment.
retention, training, and so on. That falls under us rather, and it's about the employees. So our
If you
interaction
say
is,
if you say us, are you referring to your office directly?
my boss and I, the deputy minister, because I assist her.
All
As
right.
an assistant minister,
Also,
you
the
assist the
deputy
deputy
minister for
minister.
administration,
Yeah,
you assist the deputy minister for administration as
yeah.
assistant minister.
Yeah. So
Okay.
if you were the deputy minister for administration, everything I do, I assist you. It's in consultation with you. And you can also decide to give me a responsibility solely to do what she has been doing, like the warehouse. When we came first, we needed to put transparency and accountability in place, in a sense that we have to know how many goods that come in the warehouse. The goods that come in the warehouse are goods that belong not only to the government of Liberia, but also to donors. Those divisions are donor funded divisions. You have UNICEF, you have other donors that are supporting them. So when those items come, we have to ensure that they are kept properly and the record is taken. It was not something that was being done. Maybe it was done, but not in the way that we have tried to do it. So the first thing we did was to have a meeting with the people there. I believe in my style of leadership. I'm not perfect. I always say this to people, but my style of leadership is consultation. If I come here and I met Marcia working and I want to bring a new idea, I must be able to market it to Max, call him, say to him, explain to him why I want to do this, the importance of it. And the guys were so cooperative to say, yes, this is something they sometimes try to do, but in a very different way, so we can work it out. So we have a requisition form. Is in a simple term is a request form. You come and just get the request form. You go. I'm trying to break my activity down. I'm trying to simplify my activities.
Yeah, what
But
you really want to do.
basically, I'm trying to tell you that these are divisions that fall under me and the way they work with me. That's what I'm trying to explain. So when they come for the form to my office, I will have to sign it. It goes to the warehouse manager. Before it reaches the warehouse manager, you have the division of general services. And general services responsible for asset management. They restored asset, they manage the asset. So once it gets to them, they give you the form, you come to me, I sign it. You also go to the warehouse manager, he signs it. Then what you want will be taken. A photocopy will be sent to my office. My special assistant photocopies it, he keeps it, gives me a copy, and does his weekly report. And after the month, we do spot check. The essence of the spot check is to ensure that the goods that came in the warehouse are in line with the ones that stayed there. Because if we bring, for example, 10 cartons of copybooks, And we have a record that Mars took 5 cartoons. When we're going to do the spot check, we must ensure that 5 cartoons are staying in the warehouse because there were 10. So basically, those are some of the things that we do. We work with human resource when it comes to leave, if the employees won't leave, and also sometimes employees are not coming to work on time. When I came, what I used to do, I did like spot check. I walked down to all the offices. It made me to know almost everybody's name. I walked down to the office to ensure that they were at work. This perception that government job is a free job, I don't believe in it.
Yeah.
People will come to work and they don't. Mars even behind me to talk to you on this show, so give me a chance. I will talk. Like people will come to work and they feel like they have to go back. It's now 5 o'clock. They have to go, and I said no, it doesn't work like that. So if you come to work 9 o'clock, you have to go back on 5 o'clock. So we have to monitor the attendance book and so on. So we've been doing technical work, but also we've been working with the other departments.
Okay. I'm just trying to communicate with some other people watching the show.
Yes, necessary. Go
In that,
ahead and do that.
in about maybe let me say 3 to 4 bullet points,
Okay.
if you can educate me, the overall responsibility of the Ministry of Gender and Children Protection. What is it?
No, not the
What are
Ministry
they?
of Gender. Are you asking about the ministry itself?
No, no, you're done with your own responsibility.
Okay, good, cool.
Now I'm asking, let's
Okay.
take it to the overall, because
Yeah.
you must be clothed with
So,
the
no,
okay.
that's for
Now
real.
if you can take your time, maybe in just 4 bullet points, what are the sole responsibility, tangent or cogent ones that the ministry is responsible for?
Well, the ministry is responsible to ensure that the rights of women are protected, the rights
Okay.
of children are protected, people with disability, their rights are protected, and the rights of vulnerable men are protected. So you say 4 points. So basically, it's all about protection. We serve as advocacy institution. We don't prosecute. What we do is that we call for justice. We fight for justice. We advocate for justice. We advocate that the right thing happens. We advocate that the rights of the children are protected. The rights of people with disability are protected. The rights of vulnerable men in our society are protected. And the rights of women okay, basically their rights are protected. So those are some of the things that we do. Those are basic things that the ministry looks at.
Okay. All right, Honorable Minister, just give me a few seconds. I'm just trying
You
to
can go ahead. Let me relax.
I'm
I'll wait for
trying to
you.
actually, yeah, I don't keep people who are actually somehow on my platform for long. I block you quick, you go. All right.
Oh, somebody was
Let's,
trying to do something?
I'm discussing you. I'm also following whoever say anything. So that's how I do my show. The moment I'll give one advice and the person continue, I'll block them and they're gone for good. So that's what I was doing just now. So that is it. We've known a little bit of your capacity or your responsibility at the ministry also. Are you well equipped to do your job?
Fully equipped to do my job. And not just me. You know, in life, it's all about focus. Never get afraid of what people say or people attach to certain responsibilities and duties. In life, it's all about self confidence. That's the first thing for every assignment that will be given anybody. You have to believe in yourself. You have to focus. I don't believe that there are people who are smarter than you or me. All of us are smart. But with time, commitment, self confidence, we can overcome any challenge. So I'm well equipped to do what I'm doing. I've been here less than 7 months because I came here April, the end of March. So April, May, June, July, August, September. Less than 7 months. But I've been doing my best. I cannot come on your air or your station to say I'm perfect. I would like for you to do your independent investigation. But every assignment has been given me, I have tried my best to execute it adequately. And from the feedback that I have been getting, I think I'm fully equipped.
All right, let me respond to you, Smith. I block people when I know they are acting rude on my platform. You don't use profane language on my platform. I control it. I allow you to be my friend on my platform, and I can decide whether you can stay or not. So when you come on my platform, as usual, I always advise people, no, behave yourself. If you use any words here, whether you're using it against somebody that you're talking to on the platform, you are talking to me, any of my guests, and all of the people that follow me. Your language will be reflected on them directly. So that's why I delete people. I don't waste time. Thank you. Now, you give us 4 bullet points of the overall responsibility of the ministry. Let's take it step by step. Before I got to know you, the reason, in fact, I got to know you because of your advocacy. And on my show, I had you on the show several times, and we're discussing issues relevant to the society and what is going on in the society. Are you satisfied with how the reports are coming in, ritualistically, raping of children?
Obviously, nobody's going to be satisfied to hear that somebody is being raped. Um, except out of cruelty. Even if I was not in government, I would not have been certified. And even being in government, I'm not certified. There will always be cruel people in society. That's why we have laws, because we knew that those who crafted the laws knew that there would have been people or violators of the laws. So I'm not happy, but what needs to be done is to put measure in place to be able to minimize it, because those are things that cannot be fully getting rid of. Even in the great United States of America and other developed countries, there are activities of such that happen there. But what matters is that the law should be able to take effect. That's what I think.
Does your responsibility given today uh, actually maybe stop you from being an advocate that you were before? Because we're not hearing much from you.
Um, it doesn't stop me from being an advocate, but also obviously you don't. It is not prudent while you have been given an assignment to do, and you go out there to protest like I used to do. Protest against who? When I have been given the mantle of authority, I've been empowered to make a difference. So if there are issues that I think are not correct, I am an administrator. I read my recommendation. I get involved behind the scene. It's not for me to go and hold placard anymore. But however, like somebody said, that every generation has a mission. We have played our part. We haven't left the scene fully, but you don't expect us to be there like we used to be. So those young people who are after us, they have the responsibility to correct us, to erect the necessary checkpoints where necessary, because we too erected necessary checkpoints where it was necessary. But you don't expect me to hold placard anymore, to go and just
Yeah, but
protest. Protest about what?
Honorable
Huh?
Minister, what's about talking on issues? If a
Oh,
9-year-old girl is reportedly raped and is in the newspaper, is in the radio, I mean, in the past, I mean, sometimes 2 days you're on the radio. You pay your own money to go even talk about those issues. But now you are close to the authority. People like you now, when you speak on issues, people say, yeah, the minister is talking, but you're gone silent.
no, I haven't gone silent. That's why you tell me your definition for silent is different. Now, what you need to understand is that professionalism is involved. You remember when you asked me to come on your station, you mentioned whether I was equipped professionally. And I
Yeah.
said to you, yes. So professionalism has to do with the standard of living, especially in a specific area. So in government, government is different from of government. In government, there are procedures. When I was an advocate, there was not a specific duty assigned to me. So I was playing like on the football field, play utility role. So I was playing a utility role. Now at the Ministry of Gender, we have a department for gender. We also have a department for children and social protection. So what happens when people tag me on Facebook, you don't expect me to talk because the first thing I have always said to people is this. Facebook itself has Messenger for privacy. But I know that some people find pleasure in being noticed publicly. So,
Yeah.
and I'm past that stage. If I go to argue with somebody on Facebook now, you will come there and say, Mamensie, you are past that stage. As a minister, you are not supposed to argue. So if you want me to address something, though it doesn't fall under me as an administrator, you come to my inbox and draw my attention. I'm not everywhere. I don't know what happens everywhere. So if you know me, you are my friend, and you want me to get involved because I have been in advocacy, come in my inbox. I rather make recommendation or I walk to the department because you got to be careful. For those of us who come from advocacy background and come into professional life, we got to be very careful because people see you as radical. Sometimes, if it doesn't fall under your department, it falls under somebody's else's department. You have to be professional. How you draw the person's attention, how you recommend to them how to get involved. If a child is raped, we have the TBV, gender-based violence, under the division of gender. Should I go there or I should leave my office, go and take the child when I'm not even trained about the procedure leading to the investigation of such case? If you were the director for gender-based violence, and something happens about that situation, I don't come to you. I just go on the radio and start to talk, and I go and take the body or ask people to take the body. How will you feel? Wouldn't you feel that I'm interfering into your function? You will feel that I'm overlapping your function, and then where professionalism comes in rather. So when these things happen, like the public too needs to work with gender ministry. What people need to understand, the Ministry of Gender does not prosecute. We don't come out with guilty verdict. We work along with the victim. We seek justice. We ensure that justice is served through the legal process. So what has been one of our challenges is that when those kids are being raped, family members try to compromise a mass. They try to hide it from us. Like the case with the 13 years old girl. I got to know later on Facebook, somebody tagged me. Then I came to the division to do my investigation. How did this happen? How far is it? And I was informed that when this child was raped, it took almost a month from the 27th the next month to the 28th before they informed the focal person within the county. Before the focal person got to us and the person was taken to the hospital, the child died. We have said this time without number to our people. There is absolutely nothing about family shape in rape. Whenever your child is raped, that child's future is what matters. Do not compromise it. Inform the nearby police station. If you think your case is not being looked into properly, come to the Ministry of Gender. Get to us. And those in the county, we have our social workers in the counties. So you link with them. When you link with them, they will be able to complain to us, then we can go after the case. But we are not everywhere. We don't know how it happens everywhere. So these things happen sometimes like 1 month, 2 months. When the person gets ill, then the public gets to know. That's when we get to know. And we need to be fair about this. We will not be everywhere. It is the public that needs to help us in our job. Many times, people have tried to compromise rape cases. And you try doing investigation, nobody wants to speak to you. Even the victim does not want to speak to you. Sometimes they will hide the victim. The victim families don't want to speak to you. So how do we, because you cannot carry somebody to court for rape if you don't have evidence. If the people who are affected, they don't want to stand with you, how do you fight the case for going heaven's sake? Look at the case of the representative. The Ministry of Gender at the time I wasn't here, I advocated for it and I investigated. They tried to reach out to the family in Grand Judea or somewhere in the southeast. They never spoke to the ministry. And you can't just take somebody without evidence because the law is different from the way we see things. If I'm carrying Max to police station for rape, I should be able to prove it beyond every reasonable doubt. How do I prove it? If if the person who is the victim is working along with me, that's the only time I can prove it. I'm not saying the general ministry is possibly doing everything well, but I'm telling you that these are some of the challenges that the ministry and those departments that are responsible for children protection, for gender issues are faced with.
I
Sometimes I've
really,
tried, yeah,
Honorable Minister, I really wanted to actually underscore that the particular case you just talked about. I think you talked about Regina's case. The 30
yeah,
years old end
yeah.
up her to end up having a child, and up to now we don't know the whereabouts of her. I really wanted to actually bring her in, but since she started talking about it, let me just ask the question. What is the responsibility of your ministry in case such as her case? Because this is a case that we heard the family are heavily involved.
The line is getting bad. You coming in
Yeah,
broken?
actually, I suppose our appointment was 1 hour. I supposed to be on the radio in Liberia, so they calling me, but it's okay.
It's
What
not
has
okay. I
what?
hope you're observing the time because we're
No,
going to
no,
do the Liberian work.
it's okay. Yeah, Honorable Minister, that part of the work you're doing here, giving
No,
us
it's not part of my work.
information.
I have
Now tell me,
I have the division
any
for communication. So
any
if I want to
latest
say something, I can pass through the communication division to get to
any
you.
Thank you. Any information that with respect to Regina up to this present? Because I believe you should have maybe you have a division of responsible that follow up the cases or so as well that give your feedback. Okay, this is where it is and whatsoever. Although we hearing family involved or whatsoever, but I think you are the authority in Liberia. Your ministry is having that power to ensuring that indeed our children are kept safe, and whosoever temper with them they tamper with the law, and you are there to make sure that that individual should face justice. Uh, any news about that case, or is it dead completely?
I cannot give you 100% news until we get back to the division, but I know that investigation were ongoing because we work with the justice ministry too. So investigation to be able to trace them, I was told that it's a gang rape, so they have to get trace the perpetrators, and that's also where people try to help, because if somebody is gang raped and people in the community don't want to show those people who were involved, you need serious investigators to be able to trace them. So I was told at the time I did my own inquiry, I was told that investigation is ongoing. So far that way I can stop. Remember, I'm only trying to touch base on these things because I go to senior management meetings sometimes, and when these things are brought up, I raise the concern because the pressure
Right.
is on me. Sometimes
Yeah.
these people who are even in the division, some of them might not be on Facebook, or people don't know that they are responsible. But when they happen, they come to us, they tag us, even though we are not in those divisions. So when I get to these kind of meetings, what I do is I try to get involved and ask some questions. So far, so
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Now, my lines are open just in case if you want to call. The number is on the Facebook. There is +1 443. Sorry, +1, yeah, 443-602-8847. For some of you that already have been asking questions, let me see whether I can take few of your questions to pass it on to the minister. Okay, let's see quickly to this. Okay, this Mohammed Konowa, please ask Mrs. Kabba or Ms. Kabba what has been the role of the ministry as it relates to children selling in the street? Because we still have children selling all between cars and out of Monrovia. You care to throw light on this? Mohammed want to find out.
Yeah, but we're not gonna be answering questions like when somebody ask one, you have to. So I would like for you to just give me like 3 questions, then I can respond. Because if we say when somebody asks one question, we respond one question, maybe
Okay.
it's time
Okay.
consuming.
All right. Let me take
So
a
that's why I'm
few
taking down
more.
points.
Okay. Okay. Let me take a few more. Okay. Questions are still coming. Quite a lot of questions. Okay, one question actually not statement. Bruce. Okay. Any question here? Let's see. Okay. Yes. Stuff. Okay. Let me see. Look for Europe. All right. Let me see. Lofa Julius say, Madam Minister, what are you trying to insinuate when you say leaving advocate life to professional life? Is advocacy not considered a professional function? That's from Lofa Julius. Um, okay. Your portfolio is assistant minister, right? People are calling you deputy minister here.
I'm assistant minister.
Okay, she is assistant minister for administration, not deputy. Okay, just for the correction of you guys. Let me see. Okay. Let me get one more question. I left them so many, so quite a lot of them here. All right. Fidel Emmanuel Dunn say, is there any act that barred or restrict girl who wear half-naked clothing? If not, what is the gender ministry doing to reduce moral or immoral clothing that provoke men? This is in relations to many times that sometimes when rape take place, they say, oh, the girls are dressing somehow. Also, that's let's see whether you can address those three concerns.
Yeah, let's start from the bottom. The issue of this naked, in our law, it talks about it prohibits people wearing things that will like provoke people to like somebody naked themselves. But that also is a legal issue. So the law will have to define what is a naked, what constitutes one being naked. So that
Yeah.
is not for me to say that this constitutes what is to be naked, but I know that the Liberian law prohibits that. Again, it will have to go in court for the court to define what constitutes being naked. So I don't want to go in deep detail, but let me go to the other side of it. There is absolutely no justification for rape.
No.
Absolutely, there's no justification for rape. I don't want to believe that because I don't naked myself. Since you've been seeing me, I've not naked myself, but that's my own style of dressing. People have that right to dress the way they want to dress once it's not against the law. So, and who told you that even if it is against the law, the punishment for that is for you to rape them? That's how we have a law. If somebody
No.
doesn't dress properly, and you as a citizen, you see the person, you know that this dress code is not in line with our laws, you call the police, and the person will be arrested and sent to court, but not to rape them. So I don't want it will only be out of cruelty for people to use have naked dress code as a justification for raping other people. So I don't see it that way. And the next one, somebody said, what I'm killing, what's the difference between professional and advocacy? I'm not kidding, I'm being very real to you. The difference here is that when I was in advocacy, I reported to myself. I wasn't reporting to anybody. There was not basic standard set. There was no act to tell me or restrict me from doing this and guide me in what I'm supposed to do. But at the ministry, as a government official, I can just jump around when something happens in another department and I just go and stand there and talk about it. I follow the procedure. I communicate my concern. That's the professional way of doing it. I have my duty that I'm supposed to do. If you look at the act of the ministry, section 38.11, it prescribes my function as an administrator. So, which article or which act that tells me as an advocate to do this and not to do that? So, there's a difference. Let's be realistic about it. There's a difference. The one that has to do with children selling in the street, it all boils down to finance. Let's be serious about this. You know, using the same idea to do one thing over and over, getting the same result must change. When the past government tried to get children from the streets, we have problem with them. I personally, and the reason is very simple, because there were not proper measures put in place. Getting the children from the street is just one step. Where will you keep them? are you financially capacitated to be able to keep them somewhere? Because if the children are in the street, you grab them, there must be a center to keep them. You must be able to cater to them. Let them go to school. If you if you don't have that, you keep them, you take them from the street one day, you send them back, the parents try to get scared, and later they will put them back in the street. That's why we have put in our budget, during the planning of the budget, we ask for more budgetary allotment. We cannot do much about this issue of selling in the street without resources. So we need finance to be able to build centers, to build sets for these kids. That when we take them for the first time, you want the parents, get them some penalty measures. If they do it again, you have to take the child for some time, and government has to pay attention to that child. The government needs to cater to the child. The child needs to go to school, because you cannot take the child from the street and keep the child somewhere. The child is not going to school. The child needs to go to school. The child needs to wear clothes. The child needs to eat. So all these things can be done with resources. That's how we have been appealing to the national legislature to ensure that our budget is seriously considered.
Let me come back to the issue the other fellow raised about this immoral dressing. Do you agree there is a terminology, or do you agree with the terminology immoral dressing? And do you see
Well,
something like that in your area?
I did sociology, and while reading sociology, I did some courses. I did philosophy. I know about relativism. You know, everything in life, people who believe in the ideology of relativism, they believe that everything in life is relative. Moral is relative. What you see as morally right, I could not see it as morally all right. What I see as morally all right could not be seen as morally all right to you. So I don't want to agree or disagree. He could be right, because his definition and criteria for moral differ from my definition for moral. So you got to look at that. Is he speaking from a biblical perspective? Is he speaking from a constitutional perspective, or he's speaking from a socially perspective? So you gotta analyze from the different perspectives that one analyzes those issues. So I
No,
cannot come and say,
Minister, what I want is I want your comment on the with respect to the topic. I say, do you believe that in a terminology immoral dressing?
I'm telling you, as a student that has social background, I cannot talk about immoral dressing. I
So you
know
don't believe
that.
in moral dressing, right?
No, it's not about believing it. It depends
It
on the
doesn't exist.
standard. No, it depends on the standard. For example, if you are a Muslim and you're supposed to dress properly, wear your veil, and you're not supposed to wear short thing. So if you wear short thing, depending on what is on the book for moral dress code, you can call that immoral. But will you subject other people to that, who are those who are not
No, I mean,
Muslims?
does the
No, I'm
language
coming.
itself
I just want to give you
exist?
different analysis. I want to give you different analysis.
Yeah,
As
but
a
I
Christian,
wanted you to honest to agree first, or
no,
no, whether you
no, but
agree it exists. Does it
no,
exist?
it's I
Immoral
cannot
dressing?
tell you that it exists, because I'm telling you that morality is relative. Moral itself is relative. It depends on your standard for moral. It depends on my standard for moral. Something could be morally right to me, it could be morally wrong to you, depending on our beliefs, on our criteria. So that is that identical issue is ambiguous, it's open, it's wide. Nobody can Nobody can tell you that this is moral is number on what grounds. You have to get your justification to say that this is morally right or morally wrong. Because moral itself is relative. If you have read about moral, if you have done research on moral, you will come to realize that scientists from time immemorial have argued on moral issues. So moral is relative. Moral is not fixed. It's not a fixed thing to say this is morally right. What is morally upright could be morally wrong on the other side. So I cannot come here as a person who has read sufficiently about moral and come and tell somebody, see, your dress code is morally wrong or
No,
whatever.
no,
Sorry.
it's just a concept of
Sorry to disappoint
agreeing.
you on that note.
It just a concept of agreeing or disagreeing whether something exists. If I ask you a question, do you agree that corruption exists? You might say no, I don't.
No.
And
That's a
then,
different case. No. Corruption is defined. Corruption is fixed. If you pull corruption down now, and you will find it is very strict. If you are dishonest, you are corrupt. So again, then you will ask, what constitutes dishonesty? So depending on your law in your country, so the law will tell you that this constitutes dishonesty based on section this point this. So you have to be very careful when it relates to issues that are relative. There are issues
all
that are
right, let me,
strict.
because of time,
So let's
Honorable
not
Minister,
waste much time on that.
because of time, let me take you back in the ministry. Her name is Honorable Mamensie Kabba. She's the Assistant Minister for Administration at the Ministry of Gender and accordingly Children Protection as well. Children Protection. That means all our children are safe, are always safe because of this ministry. Your advocacy then most sometimes used to be on corruption as well. Let me come to your ministry. I know you explained the way things are done there, which I feel that perhaps a quite what's the language to use? Um, it's in a such a way that perhaps you're trying to cut down corruption as well. But what are other ways that you are doing to fight corruption in your ministry? Does corruption exist in your ministry?
Corruption exists everywhere,
Because
not
because
necessarily.
the pattern you gave us first, it sounds so bureaucratic. You know, these people have to go this way, somebody have to look at it, sign, the other person take it and sign and whatsoever. And bureaucracy is mostly bureaucracy is created to at least fight corruption. But sometimes bureaucratic form of governing can also cause a backlash as well. How do you fight corruption in your ministry?
Do you want me to respond to the first one or this one? You're asking whether corruption exists here. So I was trying to
Yeah,
tell you that corruption
just combine
exists,
everything. I know you are a
but
Highlander, so I know when the question then when I put it to you, definitely
no, but
you
frankly, I've
answer.
been very honest with most of the things that I'm telling you. I don't want to say everything because we are politicians. Sometimes you want to answer the question politically, but I'm being very honest with you with my answers. And whatever you ask me, if I cannot answer, I will tell you that I don't want to answer this. Permit me to leave this, and I wouldn't answer that. But I'm being very, very honest with you. The issue about corruption existing in my ministry, corruption exists everywhere, but it remains an assumption until it is proven. It is proven in the court of competent jurisdiction or legally proven. So I cannot tell you whether there is corruption in my ministry or not. I have not gone through a corrupt case before. And since I came, there has not been a report that has indicted anybody for being corrupt in my ministry. The next one has to do with how am I fighting corruption. I think the best way to fight corruption is to prevent corruption from occurring. So, like we always say, prevention is better than cure. So, the system that we have put in place to be able to curtail corruption is one of the ways that I'm fighting corruption. It's one of the ways that I have decided to fight corruption. I believe in preventing things from happening so that we cannot start to fight when it happens. So if you prevent it from happening, there's no need to go, about pulling or holding when it happens. However, it's not a justification. Maybe one day it's gonna happen under my watchful eyes, and then the law will take its course. But for now, I'm fighting the true procedure. Like nobody takes anything from the warehouse without passing through the proper channel. I do not sign anything that I'm not convinced about, and you are not allowed to just get things out and bring it to the warehouse. It has to pass through the proper channel. Also, you are not allowed to just procure anything to get anything without passing through procurement. Procurement has to
Mm,
procure those things for you.
mm. All right, let me see what for the next
I
10,
hope we are
10
wrapping
minutes.
up.
Yeah, yes, we are, Honorable Minister. We can keep you a whole night. You got to go work for us, like you said. But let me take a few more questions from the both here. Uh, Smith Adam say, Madam Minister, what's you what's your view on equal protection for all, including LGBT rights and the choice of a woman, let me see, the choice of a woman to her body in having abortion and marrying whoever they choose. Please
Can you
don't.
just summarize the points? That person raised a lot of points.
What they, I mean, the person wants your, I
One,
mean,
the
your,
right, one, the rights of women to marry who they want to marry. Two,
especially, especially equal opportunity. Yeah, yeah, yeah. As well as the
equal opportunity for
LGBT,
women.
yeah, LGBT's rights as well, and
You mean
the,
lesbian, the gays, and other people, right?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's it. And then the right to maybe having abortion. This is happening all over the world now. Some people want kind of a right on this. So that's one. Let me bring another one,
I'm
like you
passing
said.
to the rather say for me, oh.
I don't know. At least they aware. You see that you, once you minister now, you minister. You are the people. You are the people. Okay, please. Let me see. Let me take another one, just because. Madam Minister, does your ministry give protect? I think it says okay. It's the same person asking coming back. Maybe the two are not going to
No,
answer.
it's
So
not
the same
possible. Let us just relax. We get all this
the
one.
same
Let's
question
respond to
three,
this
four
one.
times. Let me see again whether we have another one to add onto it. But the same question keep coming. I think the person thought I was just jumping over it, but no, I'll come in. Definitely, I'll come in. But if you can address that, Honorable Minister, then yeah, we can just see about wrapping up.
All right. I believe that everyone should be given their right, but it also depends on the society because there are certain rights in certain society based on law are not allowed in other societies. So once the Constitution of the Republic, because our law, our Constitution is the greatest of all laws in the country. So if the Constitution protects your law, your rights to do this and to do that, for example, if the Constitution says that lesbianism is allowed, then we must respect lesbians. But if our Constitution does not support it, then we will not support it because we cannot and we must not disrespect our laws. What people do in their country, it is based on their laws. They respect their laws. Their countries are not our countries or our country. Our country is not their country. So if the laws in our country differ from their law, it means we will not do the same thing. It means that our definition for rights will differ from their definition for rights. So we have to look at all of that. The issue that has to do with abortion is the same thing. Those who are carrying on abortion, you will agree with me that it's a law that is being agreed on that was legislated. Until these things can be legislated in Liberia, if the law prohibits them, then we must support the law. So I stand with the law.
Now, before we let you go, you've been in the office now for about
Miles, when are
how
you
many-
coming back? I've been in which office? This office?
7 months now, right?
Um, April, May, June, July, August, September. No, 6 months. Not 6 months yet, but it will soon be 6 months.
But you, if you are questioning us to respect to your achievements so far, that reflect that led to a positive reflection on the society. Any
Sorry, I didn't get that.
your achievements so far in the past 5 months or so
Oh, okay.
that can relate and reflect on the society positively.
Yeah, I
And
like that. I like general questions because most of the times I like to go outside the box. I like to leave my just my duty. I extend my work to the larger part of our society. Now, how has it benefited society? The first thing is I have been like an inspirational speaker to young people. I have been telling my story to a lot of young people, where I come from, how I
mhm.
reached this far, my intent to go further, encouraging them, comparing their story to my story, making them to understand that their story is not different from my story, that they can even be more than me, coming from nowhere and serving my country in this capacity, making impact in my country that a lot of people get to know my name, even they have not seen me. It did not come overnight. It was because of self-confidence. And also extending my hands of kindness to people if I can afford, because what we need to understand is that many times, and I will say this, people pretend when they are in public sector, like they don't want to say certain things because the public will have problem with them. But we need to be very real. I'm not hiding my salary. I make less than 3,000. I make like 2005 or 2006 because it doesn't come the same way every time. So in that money you get like $1 billion, then the money will come like 2000 or 2001. But mass the people who come to us for assistance is too hard. Sometimes when you finish sharing everything among certain people, when the rest of the other people come and you tell them you don't have it, they don't believe you because they hear minister, minister, minister. So they feel like you're getting everything. But me, I'm not saying everybody. My being in government, I swear, is service to country. It's not basically about the money. There came a time I was hungry, but later I wasn't. I came into government, I was not really hungry. At least my car was not the best of car, it was not a modern car, but I could move around. Today, I work in government. Saturday, I don't ride government car. Because if I don't have any government function, I don't ride government car. Sunday, I don't ride government car. The only time you're going to see me riding government car on Sunday, if there's a function to carry on. But again, I'm saying this to say that people need to understand that just the name minister doesn't mean that we're getting everything. Sometimes if we say we don't have it, people don't believe it. And if it has, certain people who are not strong, they want favor from the public, they will go outside the bound and do something else. And then where corruption comes in. So the public too needs to work with us and understand, especially for an assistant minister who has made less than a year. I try my best when my salary comes, like I use 65% on just helping. But still, people still keep on coming. I understand, and I don't believe that that's the remedy to solve our people problem. I think we must be able to have policy to capture these people, because the $50, the 5,000, the 10,000 we give you, after 3 months you will still come back. But let's be able to build the human resource capacity that like we are doing right now, putting measure in place so that the young people can learn, work for themselves. Everyone does not necessarily have to work in government. I told you when I started, it is just a privilege given me to work in government. I'm not the best. I'm not the most smart person or the smartest person in Liberia. We have people who are smart as I am, but it's an opportunity given me. So I have been able to inspire young people. I have been able to exhibit this level of accountability and transparency. I'm not perfect, but I don't want to be involved with anything that has to do with corruption, even the issue of procedural error. The auditors know me here. When something comes and it has to do with audit, I will call somebody from the office and come. Even if they feel that I'm making the process long, that's it. So I always say to them, because if the public hear that you are being indicted or you're being involved in audit report, they don't care to know whether it is a procedural error. All they say is that that person has stolen money. So I have tried my best to bring accountability and respect to my office. I'm the boss, but that does not mean I shouldn't respect people who work with me. Even in my ministry, I respect everybody. I give ears to them. So I have brought leadership in my capacity as a young person. A lot of people thought I was too young for the position, you know, but I just try to dispel that to let them
Are
know
you not
that
too young?
I'm not too young for any role. I'm not too young for any role. I'm not too old for any role.
All right,
It's
Honorable
just
Minister,
about
let
giving
me
me the
let
opportunity.
in the conclusion, you touched a little bit
I've
of
also been
reserving.
involved in community engagement, educating citizens on their rights, on how to advocate for their right, how to help the government as well, community engagement, because I did community development, community initiative. So community members should learn to initiate their own projects, and government and other NGO members can come in. So I've been trying my best. I wouldn't take money to share among everybody because I don't have it. Jokingly, I can say I am a freshman minister. This is my first time working in government, and I've not even spent 7 months. So I don't have that capacity financially to share money among people. But I believe that my message is stronger than my money. Because if I inspire a young person today, if that person gets on the right path, that person could be the next president of Liberia. That person could be an engineer that will help to build our roads. That person could be a medical doctor. So if I give them money, they will eat the money, and tomorrow they want money from me again. But if I inspire them to do the right thing, they become good people for our society.
All right, it's just about there. Is that 1 hour that we wanted to have you on here? Let me take this one quick for Antique Jallo. She say, Max, please ask the minister what are the mechanisms put in place to stop sexual harassment and violence against women and children in Liberia. That's Antique Jallo. Okay.
Yeah, so let's just say violence against women, because the whole thing that has to do with sexual is just
I
violence.
wanted to I wanted to add one more there because you really want to. Okay, I got it
And
from
the
Sharp.
reason why, and the reason why to get me on your show, you can be here.
Sharp is I used to have here for 3, 4, 5 hours, man.
But it was
Now
not live like
we
this.
respecting your
It's not
time
about
now
live.
because you are a minister.
If I'm on your live video, I don't have the time to do anything. But if I'm talking to you on the phone, I can do things.
You know what happened? Most of the comments I seen there, it just so it's okay. Okay, let me
Sorry, you
add
said
this.
most of the comments you see are what?
They okay because you just anyway let's leave it because on live show. Let me add another question. You got antique question, right? Let's
You
get this
said
one
auntie or
from
you said auntie?
Antrick Jallo. She
Okay,
said,
auntie.
Max, please ask the minister what are the mechanisms put in
No, I
place
know.
to
It
stop.
has to do with gender-based violence against women. So that gender-based violence has to do with sexual violence, rape, and so on. So everything is just sexual-based violence, sexual gender-based violence. So is that the only question?
No. Wait, hang on.
So
I
you're
got a
choosing your
question
own
here.
question, right? So you won't tell me
No,
all the time we have to do. Nobody commented me. You wouldn't know how to read all the comments that come in with question.
no, the comment part, the comment the plenty. You see that one,
Why
man.
you can't read some of them now? Why you really wanted the questions?
I will
Anyway,
get
I'm
back.
just kidding. Go to the question. I'm just kidding.
Ibrahim Maya, Mr. Rose. Okay,
No,
Jiba Rose says Tamba, she's very intelligent and smart young lady. Ibrahim say, I am not surprised by your knowledge because I knew you was. Okay.
shall go to the question, yeah? I thank all of the viewers and those who are writing those comments.
Okay. You just answered that. Okay, I think government need
I,
to invest in social capital and social service to remedies many of issues poor country like Liberia. That's a comment. If you care
I
to
agree.
make
No,
a
I spoken to that. I spoke to that. I think he's trying to speak to the issue about people coming for assistance. It's not the solution. The solution is to build that capacity, because if these people are educated in different ways, it's not just only about reading and writing, but they can do vocational trainings and other things so they can be able to empower themselves while they await government's employment.
All right, Augustine Tama, men in Liberia again violate the right of women when they leave the rearing of children to women. Madam Minister, does it um, is it unfair to women and an injustice to the children? What is your take on this?
um, all right. So you want me to respond to those ones, right?
Yeah, and
So let me start from
finally,
Augustine.
let me add the young people on there now. Because that was our final question. According to the questions I sent you. Okay, what message do you have for the youth of Liberia in the midst of unemployment challenges that they are facing right now?
All right. Young people in the midst of unemployment. Um, all right. So, do you want me to? Let me just end it with your question. I will start from the top.
You can start with Antrick,
And yeah,
Daniel.
Andre Jallo said that what are we doing about these violent cases, right, against women What solution do we have in place? Well, firstly, I must condemn every act of violence. And we must register that there are some very intelligent men, he for she, who have been in the vanguard advocating for the rights of women. And not because I'm on the line with Max. Max is one of them. When Max came to Liberia some years back, he came to my house. He met my family members. He and myself went to a program. We had a lot of females at that program, young women. And Mark was so inspiring to the women. He encouraged them as young women to be strong. So there are a lot of men, there are some men who are very, very strong as it relates to advocating for the rights of
Mm-hmm.
women. My dear sister is a woman, right?
Yeah. Well,
My dear sister,
I seen the photo of the big woman. Yeah.
all of us need to work to ensure that this thing is curtailed. It cannot be fully getting rid of. It happens everywhere in the world, which is not good, but it happens. So what we can do as a people, we need to work with the law enforcers. For example, like when I was growing up, I used to hear people say, if my man doesn't beat me, he doesn't like me. Are you kidding me? So for instance, something happened the last time. I was going to one of my guys, the guys who on Mecklin Street, they are my guys. One of them was graduating from the university. So I was going to his program and I met this lady beating her children. The day you can't go there is right behind what they're saying. Ask them what I'm telling you if it is not what happened. She kept beating the children, taking the slippers, the shoes, knocking them. And so the two guys that were with me tried to stop her. She said she could not stop. So I went there and said, my sister, can you please stop? This is not good. I know these children are stubborn. We have stubborn children, but you don't beat them like this. She said, she started to use all kinds of words that we should leave her. That she's going to beat. You know me? This whole position thing, I'm not too strong about it. It's not everywhere that I go, I call my position. Even though I know like when people respect position too much, that even you go somewhere, people try to disrespect you. As soon as you call your position, they jump in the air. For me, the first thing I do is myself, except when necessary, then I call my position. So I kept talking to her. She started insulting everybody, beating the children uncontrollably. So I got involved and I told her, like, can you stop? I'm from the ministry of gender. You are not supposed to beat these children like this. What if the children die? And she said to the other one, I will kill you. That means that never born you in that common like during this. I said, okay. So before you kill this child, and I'm here, I will intervene. I immediately sent for the police, and we took her to the police station. She started begging me. And I said, the community came. He said, oh, man, we're sorry. And I thought to her, she should have listened. I said, it's not about me. It's about these children. Because if these children die, or any of these two children die, you people here will not blame this lady for you, blame the government of Liberia. The
Yeah.
first people you go into is the Ministry of Gender. A little child was beaten and the child was killed. Why is the Ministry of Gender doing? And I cannot be here passing when I talk to this mother to leave the children. And you know, unfortunately, it was not her child. They were not her children. They were not her biological children. And I told them I'm not going there to incarcerate her, but I'm going to the police station for her to make a statement that these children's life or lives are in her hands. When she started begging me, I told her let her make a statement. I'm going to come back. So when she cooled down, we talked to the children. She made a statement. As to I went there and they were able to release her. I took her back, and I told her that I would be monitoring her. If she beat those children or she beats those children, like she promised to kill them, she's under the law now. She must know that the law will hold her accountable. I brought this into Andrew's question to say many times in our community, especially for some of us as young women, we will see our friends, you know, they're having their relationship and the guy is always brutalizing the lady because she's so in love with him, she doesn't want to carry the complaint. And we sit there, we don't inform the general public. We don't inform the police. But if this person dies, then you come and blame the gender ministry when we are not everywhere. So everyone needs to work with us. Nobody has to tell you, say, carry the complaint. You live in this house and you know this guy is always beating his wife or beating his girlfriend, which might lead to her death. You have to save her life as a woman. You have to save her life. You have to get the
Mm-hmm.
police involved. You have to get the ministry involved. So the public needs to work with us as we are putting mechanisms in place to ensure that the issue about gender-based violence is reduced in Liberia. The next one has to do with um, Abraham Augustine asking, excuse me, whether it is fair for men to violate the rights of women, and what is my take on it? It is absolutely wrong. It is not fair for men. Not. Let me open the whole conversation. It is not just about me being the woman, but I don't think it is fair for anybody to violate the rights of anybody, because we all have equal rights, regardless of our economic status. You don't marginalize people because they are not economically strong like you. We must learn to respect everyone for who they are, because we all were born equally free, regardless of our status. So I absolutely don't support any man violating the rights of women. I do not support it. Then
All right.
to
Yeah,
your question, I'm
especially
concluding with
young
yes.
people. Yeah,
What's my
that has
message
been
to the
that has
young
been
people
your
of
interest so
Liberia
much since before even you got there, minister.
holding to unemployment? The first thing I want to say to every young person is that life is not greasy. It's not easy. Success does not come easily, mas most of the successful people you see today are people who struggle. Yes, I'm aware that every government has the responsibility to provide the basic necessities or the basic needs of a citizen. However, there's no secret that everywhere in the world, countries are faced with economic challenges. The issue of economic challenges faces almost every country in the world. It is only prudent for us as citizens to be able to buttress the effort of the government, to be able to empower ourselves, to be able to be entrepreneurial, to empower ourselves, to produce billionaires and millionaires in Liberia. How do we do this? Now, the first thing is that young people must learn to be self-confident. They must have principles. Mass principle is important in life. If you have principle, if you are principle minded, you rather go to bed with hunger and protect your character than to, put your character under the table and get what you want. There came a time we used to walk from our homes and go to town. We had the opportunity to work. The government offered us opportunity to work, but we're looking at our integrity. Were we going in government because we were qualified? Were we going there because we're needed? Or we're going there because we're too critical of the government and they wanted to keep us quiet? So we need to choose between what we want and what we don't want as young people. If you think this person or this government is not doing the right thing, do it holistically. Don't do it with the intent of giving you a job, because if you talk to give you a job, then you keep quiet. I'm not boasting, but I was one of the brave oppositions, because it's a bravery, to be hungry and advocating in Liberia, where you see your friends are riding the best of cars. As a young woman, you walk in and you don't have yours, where you see your friends are wearing the best of clothes. It has to be a brave person. You have to protect your character. You have to be principle minded. So I want to say to every young person, be principle minded. People will respect you for who you are. The vice president, the former vice president, is my uncle. He's my best friend. He and I ate together before. We sat together. But after the election, one thing he said to me, he said, I respect you for who you are, Mamensie. With the kind of closeness we were, the kind of friendship we had, and you said you were for this and you stood by it. And I respect you. So in life, you have to be principle minded as a young person. And you cannot sit and fold your hands. It wouldn't come. You have to
Yeah,
fight
but
for change.
what's about telling them to be patient?
Oh, but obviously being patient does not mean you should sit and wait for government to bring it to you. You have to push. You have to push for it. You have to be able to elevate your stature. You cannot say that somebody comes and says somebody is, this person is hungry, we need to help. You need to make people to understand that you deserve attention. We stood up to make the government, national government, to understand that the people of those community, the people of the various slum communities, need their rights needed to be protected. Policy decision needed to reach them. And on that basis, today the Dole community has rule. There are a lot of things that have changed. So I just want to say to people, whether you agree with this government, for me, I respect people, even if they disagree with the government. Because I was in opposition, I disagree with other government. Just do it holistically. Just make sure that it is by your conviction. Don't allow people to use you. Because this is where I have problem. If you allow people to use you, then your advocacy is questionable. You have to do an advocacy that is very genuine, that is holistic, that is not influenced by anybody, by your conviction. And that is, even if it has to do with your relative, preach the truth and nothing more than the truth. So we
So
say to them,
anything in the pipeline for the young people? I just want you to let keep on the young people
of
for
course,
last.
because
Oh,
if you look at the platform of the coalition for democratic change, there is something that talks about youth
a lot of
orientation.
vocational training are about to be established.
You have to get to the Ministry of Youth and Sports because they have their plan for their general plan for
You
youth.
are an insider of the ruling party though.
I'm an insider of the ruling party, but
You
I'm
know
not
the
at every
platform. You know the
ministry.
platform very well.
No, no, the platform is being implemented by different segments, different ministries and agencies.
All
So
right, Honorable Minister.
there is one platform that I know. So on, like for example, we have gender equality, women empowerment. That falls under the ministry of gender. You have youth empowerment. I believe the youth and sports should be able to address that. So I hope you can extend your invitation to the Ministry of Youth and Sports to let us know what they have for the young people of Liberia. In my capacity as a young person, I will always work with the young people. I always say to them, I don't have money to always give you, but I can work with you. We can plan programs and be able to help ourselves and our community. So we
All right,
want to say
guys. We
thank
want
you
to
to the
say
young people. Be strong, focus in life, and one thing you must never play with is your education. Because I see education as a tool that breaks the bridge between the rich and the poor. Today, the people that have been recognized, most of the people, they come from very poor backgrounds. But because of their education, they have been able to eat with presidents. They have been able to sit with stakeholders. So never you look down upon yourself as it relates to seeking your education. And to the young women, because I'm a young woman, I know what I went through to go to school. I struggled to go to school. At many points, I would lose sponsors. Either I don't want to agree to their demands and I have to go on to find different person to help me. But I wasn't deterred and I did not allow anyone to abuse me because I wanted to go to school. I still had the belief at the time that there was some good people in society that would help me without demanding anything. And there are still good people in our society. There might not be too many, but there are still good people who want to help without abusing you. So to you young women, the best way to improve your life, the best way to be self-independent is to focus on your education. Don't allow anybody to abuse you because you want them to help you. You don't deserve it as a young woman.
that's Miss Mamensie Kabba. She's the Honorable Assistant Minister, the Minister of Gender and Children Protection of the Republic of Liberia on the Max Kpakio talk show. Betty, we're so sorry. We wish we could have the minister here for longer, but we can't keep her here for the whole day. We say
What? You have
before
me here for long.
before Honorable Minister. Okay, Mom. Let's take the last one from just a commendation from Harrison Pajibo. He says here, my dearest Honorable Minister, thanks for your level of understanding. I think if there is 100 of you in different positions of governance Liberia, um, we will have a better country. Thank you, Harrison. Honorable Minister, just before you go,
Thank you,
last one.
Harrison, and thanks to everybody.
Um, thank you for your time. We appreciate you. The platform, as usual, is always yours here. Please do not hesitate. We'll send you an invitation. I know this other one, it took a long time, but anyway, due to busy schedule. However, before I let you go, what is your position on the recent development between the Honorable Edwin Snow and Honorable Eugene Fagon?
So you see, you bringing topic that is not supposed to be in our topic.
That one will keep it last. That's what's your own personal position,
But
man.
you,
That
I
one, like,
already did my
you are
conclusion.
an
I said I was
advocate. You
going.
can talk. You
I hope you are
sensible.
not
You
doing this to have me jail too.
no. Come on,
you don't
nobody
want
can hold
me
you in
to jail,
contempt.
so you
Nobody
might
can
say
hold you in
something
contempt.
now. They will
I
take it
trust
as
you.
being
Nobody can hold you in
contemptuous.
contempt.
Ah, well, in my opinion, I think Minister Eugene Nangwe, not Eugene Nangwe, but Eugene Fagon, overreacted. As public servants, we need to always exercise restraint. We are human. Even me, I have been pushed and I have reacted before. I have been pushed and I have overreacted. But it's not always, and I know where to do it. But again, we all have a responsibility as public officials that even if we are pushed to certain limits, we must exercise restraint because we represent the country, not just ourselves. Whatever we do has a reflection on our country. However, I don't believe that he should be jailed for that. I don't believe that. The first thing is what happened over there. I'm here to understand and I stand to be corrected. How does it amount to contempt? Was there any legislative function being disrupted? We got to know that. If there was a legislative function that was being disrupted. And also, when Eugene got there, to my understanding, he apologized. Minister Eugene Nangwe apologized too. So why accept Minister Eugene Nangwe apology and not Eugene Fagon? So it was a calculated attempt. With all due respect to Minister Asst Jackson insulted people here. The worst way, I'm not justifying why should Minister Eugene Nangwe behave like that. I told you from my initial state, from the basis of my conversation on this issue, that he overstood his bond. But I'm just trying to do comparative analysis. Because if Max does this and I punish Max, if Mamensie does it, she must be punished. You remember Honorable Samuka, Brennan Samuka, disrespected Honorable Akara Girl on the radio for wearing common flag. He said if you dare try to wear common flag, he really disrespected the honorable man. But he wasn't caught. He was never called for contempt charge. How does that constitute contempt? So I just want to believe, in as much as I condemn Honorable Fagon's action, and I will condemn it today, tomorrow, and after tomorrow, but I don't believe that his incarceration is legal. His incarceration, I see it as a witch hunt. And everybody needs to understand that the role Minister Fagon plays, he will obviously talk. You don't have to like him, but you will have to defend the government. The thing about us Liberians, that's why things become difficult for us. We don't always put things in our own shoes. Sometimes it's good to put it in your shoes. It's Fagon today, when you were put in that position, or you were the one in that position, will you not defend the government? You will obviously defend the government. So he is doing his job, even though what he did was wrong. And if there's a problem, you can recommend to the president. The president can hear. Mr. President, Mr. Fagon's attitude has the ability to bring the government to public ridicule, blah, 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 blah. We recommend that you suspend him or you do this to him, which is the president's prerogative to do it, to accept or not to accept, but not to incarcerate him on ground of contempt. I'm yet to understand how does it amount to contempt? How is it contemptuous? I don't know. Was there any
All right.
legislative function that was being disrupted at that night? We are yet to know.
Okay.
So
You
that's my
know,
take.
I must be honest with you. On this last portion, um, I was saying you my grade. In terms of, but before you go, let's say
Then before you go to here, let me see the time.
between no
Serious, let me
that
see where
last
La
one
Grande
between
to you
A and
now.
D.
Me,
Let's say between
I
because
gotta go.
I know you finished. You finished already between A and D. Or between 80, 90, 70, 80, 90, 100. If you are to grade this government, which grade would you give?
It's a difficult thing to just grade the government. You have to
No,
look at the difference.
don't worry. I don't want to play the explanation. I just want, we are on A, we are on D, we are on C. That's it.
Um, I don't want to grade the government right now. It's too early to
All
grade
right.
the government because to grade
Okay.
the government, you have to get all of the results. Now it's a planning process. We are just planning for now. We have achieved a lot of things. YF fees, sending people to out of
No,
Liberia
no,
to
no,
go
no,
for
no. You
study.
say you want to grade. Me, I just wanted a grade. I want
No,
an
I'm telling
explanation.
you that I'm being very realistic. I'm telling you that I'm being really, really realistic. We have done some good things. We have
At
planned
least,
some things that have
at
not
least
been
60,
done. So
60%.
until you have to give us the time to be able to implement some of the plans that we have put in place, then I can come off a grade.
So at least 40%. Let's
No, but
accept
without you
40.
40, you told me no, 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 no. You say your grade point is from 70 to 100.
No, I'm asking now.
No, it can never go below 70. But I'm telling you, from 70 to 100, I
So
don't want to grade right now.
should we accept at least maybe 60 from you?
How will I accept 60 when it's not part of the grading points? You're going
Should we
outside the
should we
box.
accept should we accept
No,
70?
Max. No, Max. You are deviating from the whole thing. You gave me a
Mom,
grade point. No, no.
all right.
You
Should
gave me
we
a scope
should
of
we
operation.
should we on the platform today?
You asked me to
Should
grade the
we
government from
should we
70
accept
upward.
should we accept D
So
at
even if
least?
I were to choose the least grade, it means that the government has done well. But I've been very honest to you. I said I don't want to grade the government for now. Give us some time. We have some good plans in place. Let's implement. Although the government has done a lot of good things, though community bank has existed for so many years, under the regime of this government, in less than 7 months, we have a road there, we have electricity. We have students send the historicity of Liberia. I have not here where president has paid YFE. This president has paid YFE and he's still waiting to pay YFE. The president has sent Liberians out of Liberia to go and learn. We have a lot of groundbreaking ceremonies. The JFK now is under renovation. We're improving it gradually. And health workers' salary have been increased to some places, not even some places, but are being increased. And there are a lot of good things that have been happening. However, is that the end result? No. So let's give some time and make sure that these things are adequately done and decentralized. Then we can be able to grade the government. Even if I were to choose to
Wow.
grade the government, depending on your grades that you give, the government will still not fail.
All right. If you don't know her name is Mamensie Kabba. Miss Mamensie Kabba. She is the Assistant Minister for Administration at the Ministry of Gender Insurance Protection of the Republic of Liberia. She has been a guest of our show here today, the Max K Talk Show. A wonderful, brilliant, a lot of beautiful, beautiful
Thank
comments
you to
there from all
everybody.
of you. We want to say thank you so much to all of you. Honorable Minister, anything last you want to say to your people that are watching you across the world?
Well, I just want to say thank you to everybody for the support and other things. I know that it's not an easy thing. You know, when people are in government, it comes with a lot of things. Some people have problem with you. Sometimes they just hear about you. They've not interacted with you. They don't know you. But maybe because you're in government and they hear that public officials are like this, like that. So it's a difficult thing to distinguish between who is who and who is this. But that's it. We just want to say to all of our people, we thank you for your support, for your continued support. Without your support, we cannot do what we are doing right now. The more you support us, we've been left with that responsibility to make you proud. Because if you come today and say you are doing well, thank you, this is my minister, I support her, I stay with her, she's my minister of the year, like some of them usually do, then I have to protect your image too. Because if I do the wrong thing, I'm not the only one that is going to be attacked. Those of you who support me and believe in me, you're going to take some bullets because of me. So I have to look at all of that and be able to help. If you see me doing things that you think is not right, please come in my inbox. Come to me, talk to me. I'm a human being. I listen to advice, and we can talk it. But if you go publicly, and I don't consider that as advice, you got to understand too. I'm a radical person. I come from a radical background. Though I'm trying to be very, very professional and diplomatic, but sometimes I will be pushed and I want to fight back. So if you want to advise me, Facebook is not used for advice. I know that it doesn't often happen, but sometimes I'm a human being. Sometimes I want to do something wrong, or maybe I will do something wrong. Just come in my inbox and give me your advice, and I will take your advice where necessary. If it is not necessary, I will respectfully say it to you. Usually, I'm not the kind of person that usually, you know, goes about insulting people or talking to people. It's very difficult for me to even have disagreement with people like in that kind of very disrespectful manner. And Mark knows it. We disagree, but at the end of the day, if I'm angry with him, I just keep it cool. I don't respond to him. I just keep it cool until I come down, then I get back to him. So that's me right there. I don't hide anything about it. I want to say thank you for your platform. It's very important. We have our brothers and sisters in the diaspora who are very interested in happenings in Liberia. I think these are things that are important. And not only me, try to get out to other people too, so that they
Yeah.
can get to understand how the government is being operated and how young people in other sectors, in other ministries, in agencies are making their contribution. If we don't come out to say these things, sometimes you wouldn't know because you are not in Liberia. So you have to hear from us, interact with us, then you get to know what we are doing. So if you two don't bring us up, you don't bring us on these stations, on these programs, people don't get to understand the work we do. So I want to
That's
say
true.
thank you. You know, politicians talk too
That's
much.
true.
So let me not hold you. Thank you for the time. I
Well,
appreciate it so much.
we should
And
be
I appreciate
commending you.
everybody. My brother Abraham Myers and everybody. Thank you so much for the support.
We start calling you call by name on that show. We
Augustine
should be
Tamba, I'm not seeing them. I'm not seeing
we
the
should be
comment. That's the problem.
we should be appreciating you, Honorable Minister. Thank you so much for your time. As usual, we want to appreciate you. May God bless you as well and continue your good
I
work.
mean,
Thank you. Have a good evening.
thank you. You too.
All
Bye.
right. That was Minister Mamensie
How
Kabba.
can I go off? Can you please just let me?
All right. Thank you so much for being there. This is a Max K talk show. And we're also live on Boss Media Radio International. We want to say thanks to the minister, Assistant Minister, Mamensie Kabba, for her time this afternoon. Give her enough time actually just to go into some of the work, her responsibility as well at the Ministry of Gender and Children Protection. It was a great one. You know, I like people that are honest, and I like people that are truthful in what they say and what they do. And I think her test, the test I gave her at the last on Eugene Fagon and Honorable Snow. Any of you who listen, I think how to her response. If you even gave her a plus, I will agree with you. Yeah. There are people on Facebook. We've been discussing these issues. I mean, I'm talking about even lawmakers. Some of them, I call them on the phone, and their answers, I can tell you no lie. These are the people who I will refer to as belly-driven people. But this woman, she answered, the answer she gave us right here on that regarding the matter, honestly, is objective and it was to the point. Mamensie Kabba, I want to say thank you so much. You know, from this interview again, I've interviewed you here several times about sharing platform with other young people and things. On this particular one, I gave you a plus, A plus as well. Thank you. It's good. It's great to be. It's good to be smart. I think somebody said on the platform that it's great. It's good to be educated. My dear, I always inviting government officials here. I always harassing. Always. Even today, I have 3 emails I sent to 3 different lawmakers. People, some of them used to come on my show before the election. I mean, we used to, yeah. By the time I sent, you know, a message or email, you know, I like to have you on the show. So the next day they come in, oh, I'm coming back to you. Oh, yeah. What time? What day? Now they all gone. Anyway, we're gonna end here because I've got to keep this material for future use. It will be sent straight to my YouTube channel right after here. Thank you so much for listening. May God bless you. May God bless the continent of Africa, and of course, above all else, may God bless Liberia. Thank you, and catch you up soon again. Bye bye for now.